Action. Since the invention of the television set, besides news, war, and commercial products, one other type of entertainment program that has always been fascinating to observe and consume is the dating game show.
Bachelor number one, would you please greet Donna?
Hello, Donna.
Thank you. Number two.
Good afternoon, Donna.
And Bachelor number three.
Hi, Donna.
Okay, so our first single guy, come on out. Devin, hi, nice to meet you.
A televised program wherein the initial interaction between the opposite sex are put on display as the show attempts to match-make the contestants who must play the game according to the rules set by the creators of the show. Make no mistake, while it may seem that the show places the compatibility and future success of the relationships of the contestants as a priority, this will never be as important to the network producers and owners of the show as the entertainment factor. Simply put, ratings and profits over love and feelings. Stop me if that doesn't sound like Tinder. The question in my mind is, how do we go from this to this and then to this? Question 2. Is there a link between dating game shows and sexual relationships and interactions? It's the early 1960s. ABC executive Chuck Barris has a problem. You see, Chuck Barris pitched his idea for a new TV show to the higher-ups at ABC. Chuck's idea was fresh, exciting, and intriguing. On this show, 3 male contestants would vie for the chance to go on a date with a woman who was placed behind the screen, hidden from the sight of the contestants. And 4 of them had to communicate verbally. The woman would then choose one of the contestants who ultimately won the game. On paper, the idea sounds brilliant. However, during the pre-taping of the television show, Chuck realized that the contestants responded to the questions asked of them with overt sexual remarks. You see, this is a problem for Chuck because, well, it's the 1960s. You have to remember that while the idea of sex and morals were being challenged, the network, ABC, had the keys to the gate. The network decided what was acceptable to be shown to the audience, and the wider the audience, the better. Therefore, these sexual remarks could not be part of the show, and thus was a big ass headache for our guy, Chuck Barris. Now, you don't get to be a creative at ABC if you can't solve problems like this. So Chuck comes up with a cunning solution to keep these contestants in check. Chuck tells a friend to dress up and act like an official of the FCC, a government agency which regulates television content, and right before the contestants go on air, the friend gives them a warning forbidding any sexual remarks, dirty jokes, or profanity, which could be punishable by fines and even jail time. Problem solved. Now, I want you to remember this part of the story because we will come back to this when we jump into the future of today. Okay, back to the story. In 1965, Chuck's show titled The Dating Game went on air and it became a huge success.
He's been selected Mr. World 2 times, Mr. Universe 5 times, Mr. Olympia 4 times. He is an actor. He's studying business at UCLA, and Graz, Austria was his birthplace. Please join me in welcoming to the new dating game the current Mr. Olympia, Arnold. Singing and drawing, playing basketball, and candy, and bubble gum. Please join me in a special dating game welcome for a fine young man, Michael Jackson.
This is the earliest iteration of a dating game show on record, and it spawned and influenced hundreds, maybe thousands of TV shows. As a matter of fact, I would argue that the spirit of the dating game is in the DNA of one of the most popular dating shows ever created, The Bachelor. The early 2000s were quite a phenomenal time to be alive. The dreaded Y2K bug did not lead to the end of the world. The keeping up with the Kardashians era was just starting. Destiny's Child ruled the charts. Eminem had a chokehold on the rap game. In 2001, post-Tongue song, Cisco's dominance would curiously fade. Our introduction to Craig David, the debut of American Idol, I could go on forever, but cable TV was the medium through which a lot of us were influenced. In the 2000s, with the rise of reality TV in pop culture, it was inevitable that this phenomenon would find its way into the dating TV show genre. After all, what could be realer than observing the romance or lack of romance thereof between two or more individuals on your TV screen or media device of choice? As networks scramble to create the next best shows that would captivate audience and hopefully lead to more advertising deals, this era witnessed so many types of shows. Without a doubt, when it comes to shows that are built around dating, The Bachelor is the cream of the crop. Even though the format is not a game show technically, it is without a doubt one of the most successful TV shows ever created with an immense cultural significance. However, the same criticisms from the 1960s can be levied against all these shows. The producers of these shows would always seek to make ratings and profits more important than the love and emotions of the contestants. In other words, just like professional wrestling, things are manipulated, and reality dating shows or TV shows are not that real as the public would come to find out. Then again, just like professional wrestling, we know that reality TV isn't really real, but we still want to watch nonetheless. For instance, The Bachelor has received a lot of criticism for forcing contestants to say things they did not want to. Also, edits have been made to footage to make reactions seem real, but in reality, we're from an entirely different scenario. I could also point out the lack of people of color being on the show, but this issue would take a whole entire video on its own, which I intend to make. On these shows, you will hardly ever see anyone who looks average, and everyone seems to have the best summer bodies, as the show producers want to have the best looking contestants so that the viewer can idolize them. This could lead to psychological pressure on some viewers and have a negative effect on their mental health. But then again, you should get into shape for health reasons and not just a chance to be on Love Island. Let's not even get into how some of these shows pushed the sexual content and violent tension to the forefront in order to make things more entertaining. As the modern iterations of the dating show began to rise in popularity and networks fought for the number one spot, things were changing. Technology was developing at a rapid pace. In the late 2000s to the early 2010s, cable TV had encountered new challenges which threatened to disrupt the entire entertainment market. 2006 and 2007 would see the advance of YouTube and Netflix as these two companies joined the fight for viewers, advertising revenue, and subscription fees. It was the dawn of a new era. Cutting the cord was here and in our faces, and the new kids on the block were rapidly becoming accessible. However, as legacy networks and big studios dug into their heels and settled in their business meeting trenches to strategize about how to combat this new barbarian at the gate, some companies would adopt a if you can't beat them, join them mentality, while others did what they could to adapt to the new world of streaming, while some just became dinosaurs, relics of a time past. As we all know, the internet changed everything. I mean, everything. Before now, dating shows and other types of visual programs could only be produced with the backing of a huge network with the goal of syndication and sweet advertising money. The stars of the shows, the celebrity hosts, the show producers were gods who lived on Olympus, far out of the reach of us humans, save for the occasional gas station picture on TMC. But the internet and technology changed all of that. With less capital, a camera, a mic, some determination, a new age of the dating show was born.
I'm 19.
In case you are not familiar with the Pop the Balloon dating game, here the suitors have balloons, and when the host asks the contestant to come out, if any of the suitors do not like the contestant, they pop their balloons, and if not, they interact with one another and more balloons could pop. But if one suitor still holds a balloon and both of them decide to go on a date, they win the game. Again, stop me if that doesn't sound like Tinder. Now, let me level with you. The most popular Pop the Balloon dating game shows on YouTube, and when I say Pop the Balloon dating game shows, I mean channels that focus on this primarily as a niche, are arguably Arlette Amuli's Pop the Balloon or Find Love and nonsmiraj Hunt Game Show. You know what? If I'm wrong about that, please let me know in the comments. The algorithm is a strange thing. Maybe there are other channels that pop the balloon with way more views but now remember I said primary content. However, if we are talking about who started it first, to be honest, I do not know who started this trend on social media, but another question that comes to mind is who made it popular? And that would probably depend on what your algorithm is showing you. In North America, it could be Arlette Amuli. In Africa, it could be nonsmiraj. Now, but the first episodes of each of these Pop the Balloon channels were published on the 7th of December 2023 and the 5th of July 2023, respectively. And I would say take this with a grain of salt because I do not know if these first episodes were re-uploaded to YouTube or deleted or anything of the sort. I bring this up because while there may be debate as to who made this trend more popular, there can be no argument as to the fact that once the Pop the Balloon trend started catching fire, it was and continues to be everywhere. And both of these ladies are killing it. I'm talking about millions of views. This type of content is widely addictive because of a couple of things. And one of these, without a doubt, is the drama. Contestants are known to take shots at each other and say some of the craziest things you have ever heard as they reject each other over physical appearance, financial status, choice of fashion, cultural beliefs, skin color, amongst other things. In a time where dating is done on apps where people swipe left, swipe right, seeing rejection served in 4K and 3D in real life on President Joe Biden's internet. I mean, no wonder a lot of people find this entertaining. But the more things change, the more they stay the same. Remember when I told you about 1965's problem with the dating game show and how they wanted to stop contestants from verbally saying anything disrespectful and sexual? Well, in the modern iteration of the dating game show, disrespect and sexual innuendos are highly encouraged. So, in the three eras of the dating game show, things changed, but the players are kind of the same. But like I said, the more things change, the more they stay the same. So if someone consumes this type of content a lot, what type of effect could this possibly have on your mind? First, I believe that these shows encourage that toxic disrespect is a valid response to any advance from another person. While there are cases where the advance in itself made by a person to another person is toxic and disrespectful, is an equally toxic and disrespectful response always warranted? However, the counter argument could be made that even respectful and kind acts of rejection have led to highly violent acts or some sort of assault. Second of all, the negative impact of these shows on dating culture can be observed from an understanding of the paradox of choice. Simply put, this theory suggests that the more choices a person has, the more difficult it is for that person to make a decision. This could lead to choice paralysis. In other words, because a person has been presented with an unlimited amount of mates to choose from, they could be stuck on the hunt for the next best thing. We all pop the balloon in our minds in real life. Red balloons pop from red flags, especially when our internal self-defense mechanisms determine that a person is a no-no for whatever reasons. To quote relationship expert Tina Fey, they've made us think we should always be on the hunt for love and settle for nothing less than heart-stopping excitement. As a result, people prioritize this larger than life narrative over depth and connection. Yet the counter argument exists that people want what they want, and the grass is always greener. And we could take it to the age old argument of settling for a person. All I'm saying is that dating is a game, and if you are continuously cycling through choices and popping balloons on everyone for whatever reason. Another interesting aspect of these dating game shows come from the intention of the creators. The common goal of these shows is to create loving relationships, but is that really what's going on here? Listen, anyone can go on these shows with the purest of intentions, but once that camera is in your face, it's quite possible that one begins an act, and if it's let me reject you before you reject me for shallow or pertinent reasons, then where are we going? Understand that the drama factor is more important when it comes to views, stats, and profits. And this can bleed into real life as people will assess the excitement quality of their relationships based on how much drama they can take. Let me say it again for the people in the back. People will assess the excitement quality of their relationships based on how much drama they can take. These shows should not just pick people based on appearance. Shout out to the body for picking everyday people and not just Henry Cavill stunt doubles in the face and pre-Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt in the body types from X on the Beach. As I was saying, these shows should not just pick people based on appearance and physical attraction, but seek to match people by understanding their relationship history, their attachment theories. But this could take time. And why go through all of this when you can just have drama? Saving the worst for last, but not the least, there is an argument that these dating game shows can lead to negative stereotypes about the contestants on these shows. Maybe is that a certain race, sex, or ethnicity or subculture exhibits a certain combative behavior. At this point, I would be remiss if I did not consider the positives of these dating game shows. Besides creating jobs and profits for independent creators, which could lead to greater and better things, these shows are kind of like an exhibit where we get to see some of the most mind boggling, problematic people. And let's be honest, we all know some people like this who we just have to get away from. At the very least, a positive is that this type of shows reinforce a lesson that teach us that when you see this kind of problematic behavior, like the late great fella said, Ronald, to understand the cultural significance of the dating show genre and our fascination with this type of content, Dr. Karen McNally, professor in American film, television, and cultural history at the London Metropolitan University, said that these shows are part reality TV, soap opera, and game show all into one, which means that they are combining elements of fiction and non-fiction, characterization, relationships, melodrama, and competition. So, is it just harmless entertainment? Also, why is it that this trend is being predominantly created by Black people? These are questions for us to ponder. The times are changing. It is no surprise that the divorce rates are going up, and with the loneliness epidemic sweeping across the masses, it is ironic as never before have there been more ways for the human race to communicate, yet we appear to be more lonely and single than ever. In conclusion, I just want to end this video by saying I do not dislike any of these channels that I have spoken about. I think what Arlette and nonsmiraj have created with their respective channels has something that any creator can learn from. It will be interesting to see how over time channels like this evolve as new trends emerge. Most of these platforms did not start with popping the balloon content, but they found something that connects with the viewers. On a larger scale, sometimes I wonder what will come next for our dating cultures as marriage rates go down and divorce rates go up. But like I said, it's obvious that the times are changing.